Welcome to class. My name is Silas. So good to have you here for a yin practice. This class is part of our journey through the element series. And in this practice, we're going to dive into the water element, what is also related to the season of winter. Doesn't mean that you can only do this class during winter. It's always good to hibernate, to recharge. So let's dive into it. If you have two big cushions or one bolster and maybe a block handy, definitely going to use it. If you don't have professional yoga bolsters and blocks, you can just use really big like couch cushions or anything to support you in some of the yin shapes. All right, let's dive into it by placing your props to the side and then finding your way into a standing position at the center of your mat. And then feet about hip width distance apart, arms by your side. And just let yourself arrive in space. Let the arms be heavy. Close down through your eyes. And begin to notice how you hold yourself up in space. Feeling the shoulders just slightly draw down the back of your spine. As you begin to notice your breath, beginning to drink the breath in and then let it drop back out. If you like, you can begin to place the hands onto your belly. As you begin to consciously breathe, see if you can pull the breath all the way into the belly button. Letting it be fluid. Letting it flow in and flow out. Just like water flows downstream. Letting the breath fall in and fall out. Pulling it all the way into the belly button. And stay with this awareness of your breath as you let the hands come down by your side. And then begin to just gently move side to side, back and forth. Not much, maybe not even visible to someone looking at you. Just noticeable for you. Just finding your plumb line, your center line. Almost like seaweed in the ocean. Slight movement. Finding your center line. Beginning to draw breath in from the very soles of your feet all the way up your legs as you breathe in to the very crown of your head. On the exhale, let the breath drop back down into the floor. A couple more times, just breathing in all the way from the ground. And then dropping the breath all the way down. On the next inhale, reach your arms up, grow tall. You can keep the eyes closed or blink them open. Then on the exhale, draw the hands through heart center. As the hands pass by your chin, tuck the chin towards the chest, let the arms be heavy. Soft bend into the knees as you begin to slowly roll down the spine, one vertebra at a time. It's like an ocean wave rolling all the way down into a forward fold. And once you're in your forward fold, begin to slowly roll back up the spine. Really take your time. Take as many breaths as you need. Let the head be heavy, the arms be heavy. One vertebra at a time, stacks on top of one another, the head comes up last. And once the head comes up, take an inhale, arms float up. Exhale, hands pull through heart center, once more unstacking the spine. Rolling down. Till you come all the way into forward fold. And then we do this one more time. So in your own time, rolling back up. And we're going to meet in a forward fold at the end of this round. Once the head comes up, take an inhale to let the arms float up. Exhale, pull them through heart center and then begin to roll all the way down into your forward fold. Once you get into your forward fold, that's where we're going to stay. And once you're folding forward, keep the knees bent generously. You can let the upper body rest on your thighs. You can decide to just have the arms hang off your torso with the backs of the hands beside your legs. If you prefer to catch opposite elbows, you can also do this. And then let the elbow tips be heavy. Let the hands come into any position where you feel like you can just let yourself dangle. And when we work with the water element, we're working with the bladder and the kidney channel. The bladder channel that starts just on top of your eyebrows and then runs over your forehead to the crown of the head, wrapping around the back of your head, running down your neck, along your spine on both sides, towards your hips, and then over your bum, down the back of your legs, all the way under, or all the way to your heels, and along the side of your foot, finishing at the little toe, pinky toe. And just by bringing awareness to these energy channels, I'm going to talk about the kidney one later on. Just by bringing awareness to these channels, you allow yourself to dive deeper into the qualities of water, the qualities of the related element, in this case water. Let yourself drop, feeling this cooling sensation of the water wash over you. Just like a wave. Just observe the blood flow within. And then begin to slowly bend your knees a little bit more, bring the fingertips onto the ground, and then as you come all the way down, lower your knees down towards the floor. And as the knees lower down, tuck your toes under, bring the big toes together to touch, and then sit back onto your heels. Let the palms come into your lap, palms can face up. Just coming into a toe sit. Noticing the previous shape, noticing the sensations of having your head below your heart and now having the head and the heart above the hips. Just noticing how it feels. If the toe sit becomes too much, you can always untuck the toes, but see if you can stay in the discomfort just for a little longer. The toe sit is clipping part of the kidney line. Where the kidney line sits, we're going to find out in a second. In general, just being in a toe sit is one of these things we probably know is good for us, but we avoid doing it. Think of your feet as the foundation of your building. And by sitting on your toes, you're stretching out the entire plantar fascia. You're doing your foundation a good deed here. Continue to follow your breath. We're here for just 2 more rounds of breath. And begin to shift your weight forward onto all fours. Lift the heels towards your bum and then do little circles with your ankles. Just letting the sensations of the toe sit dissipate, going both ways. And then as the feet come back down, bring the ankles over towards the right, and then sit your bum down towards the ground. Bring the legs around towards the front. I'm just going to turn towards the camera. And we're going to set up for butterfly pose. And just before we get into the shape, we're going to just quickly feel where the kidney line runs. So you can bring your hands just to both of your little toes, and then tap from your little toe just across the sole of your foot. And then the kidney line comes up towards where the ankle sits, runs around the ankle in a circle, and then goes up the inner leg, up towards your knee, coming in towards the inside of your thigh, down towards your groin. And then it actually disappears in your groin, and it reappears just at the front of your belly button, just on the left and the right side. So you can begin to tap just where your belly button is. Begin to slowly tap your way up towards your chest. And then just where the chest begins, it moves slightly towards the outside and then comes up, finishing at your collarbones. All right, so we're gonna go into the kidney line as well as the bladder line that runs over the back by now setting up for our butterfly shape. If you have bolsters or cushions, I'm a big fan of them just because Yin Yoga is not necessarily about stretching. It's more about loading your muscles and your tissue with a healthy amount where you feel like that's my comfortable edge, and then let your body relax into it. It's not about deepening your range of motion by forcing it with effort. That's when you can go and do a vinyasa practice. It's more about fully surrendering. So let the soles of the feet come together, knees go out wide. You can support your legs with cushions. You can also take a block, or if you have another cushion underneath your head, and then begin to fold forward. You can really decide how far or close you have your heels towards your pelvis. The further away they are, the more easeful this posture is. The further in you pull them, it just goes a little bit deeper through to the inside of your legs towards the kidney line. In whatever shape you chose, begin to let yourself fold forward. Allow yourself to be supported. Letting the head drop, closing down through your eyes. And imagining a big, vast ocean. Letting your arms relax, your legs relax. And as you imagine this big, vast ocean, you notice all the waves at the surface of the ocean. The weather and the wind playing with the surface. There might be big waves of fear, big waves of insecurities, of busyness, the noise of everyday life. But even if this big vast ocean is so wavy at the top, so disturbed, once you imagine you dive underneath the surface into the depth, the stillness underneath, you begin to let yourself rest. Everyday life, it's the weather at the surface, the waves that take you on an up and down ride. You think of water element, don't forget that you're not just the waves, you're the entire ocean. There's so much stillness and so much depth to who you are that you don't even know, that you're not even aware of. So let yourself dive underneath the surface into the depth of your ocean, stillness underneath the surface. Using your breath to dive deeper, consciously relaxing your thighs, your knees, your feet, your head, your shoulders and arms, back of the heart, breathing into your backside, breathing into inside of your legs. Just letting yourself drop. Drop deep into your own ocean, into the stillness within. And then begin to mindfully bring yourself back up, using your hands to help yourself to bring the upper body back up, and taking the bolsters to the side. You can use your hands to help you to bring the knees back together at center, and then begin to hug the legs into the chest, coming into a cosmic egg. Letting the forehead come onto your knees. And you can decide if you want to keep the soles of the feet on the ground. You can also come onto the tippy toes. You can even float the feet off the floor just an inch. Keeping the legs relaxed. And then if the feet are hovering in the air, slowly let the big toes come back down, let the feet come back down. And then swing the legs around towards your left as you make your way onto your belly. Next pose we're setting up is Sphinx pose. So let the legs come to outer edges of your mat. If you have a tight lower back, it feels nicer to have the legs out wide. And then bring your elbows underneath your shoulders. Palms of the hands can either face up or down. If you want to work with bolsters or blocks, you can place them in a way that you can let your forehead rest on. And then letting the belly drop towards the floor. If you don't have any props or any support at home, you can also use the palms of your hands to just let the forehead rest into your palms. You choose, you decide. And letting yourself find the shape through your breath. Directing the breath into the belly button. Let the muscles in your glutes and your bum relax. Notice how that relaxation streams all the way down your legs. And by creating this very gentle back bend through swings, you're compressing an area just below the rib cage on your back side. And that's why your two kidneys sit. The physical organs of the kidneys. There's a slight compression. When we talk about organs through the lens of Chinese medicine, we're not necessarily talking about them as physical organs, but more as energy centers. So just to give you a rough idea where these energy centers sit, or where your kidneys sit, a physical organ is just on your back, just below your rib cage, just where we do have this slight compression through the Sphinx pose. Breathing into the belly button, noticing how breathing into your stomach, the expanding of the belly expands the lower back simultaneously. Letting your head be heavy. By resting your forehead into block, bolsters, or even your palms, you're pressing the very beginning of your bladder line that runs from your eyebrows over your head, down your neck, down your back body, alongside your spine, through your bum, all the way down your legs. It's the longest meridian, or the longest energy channel within the body. Bringing awareness into it. At the same time, by breathing into the belly, you're also stimulating part of your kidney channel that runs. Remember, the kidney channel came up through the inside of your thighs, then went into your groin, and then reappeared just beside or just slightly below your belly button, and then runs up through the front side of your body, up just below your chest, and then it just jumps out slightly towards the outside and finishes at your collarbones. The Sphinx pose also elongates your front body. So breathing into the front channel. Take one more full breath. And then begin to slowly lift your head off the support. If you have blocks or props in front of you, push them aside, and then let yourself come all the way down into your belly. Let the arms come down by your side. Turn your head one way. And then notice any sensations from the edge of your rib cage, moving down the back of your legs. It's almost like a kidney flush. Sensation of water streaming down through your back body, lower back, down the back of your legs. And if you have one cheek turned down to the floor, just turn the nose the other way. Breathing into the belly. Feeling the belly expand against the floor. And then begin to bend your elbows, bring them beside your rib cage, and then with a little bit of effort pressing into the floor to bring yourself up into an all-fourth position. Walk the knees slightly forward, let the feet come out towards the side, and then lower your bum down towards the ground. Swing the legs around towards the front. I'm going to set up for probably the biggest yin posture, or the biggest water posture. Not the biggest yin posture, it's not up to me to decide. This one we're coming into caterpillar, which is a forward fold, also known in Vinyasa as Paschimottanasana. And you can do this, really it's not about how it looks, it's really about how it feels. So if you have very tight hamstrings or very tight lower back, take a block or cushion underneath your knees. Keep the knees bent generously. You can even take another bit of support on top of your legs and then begin to let yourself fold forward. You can take another bolster, block or cushion underneath your forehead once more, and then reaching your arms towards your ankles. They don't have to touch, they don't have to hold anything. Let your ankles release. Just let yourself fall into this forward fold, being supported by any cushions, props, blocks, anything that you need. You're finding something that is comfortable. Finding your comfortable edge. I said this is the biggest pause. It's the biggest pause for the water element. It's the biggest pause for the bladder line, the forward fold. We've already done it once before, so we're not going to stay for too long. We've done it standing. It's the biggest one because we're stretching out that entire channel. It runs from the eyebrows all the way over the top of your head, down the backside of your legs, all the way along outer edge of your foot towards the pinky toes. And we're here for just another minute and a half. Letting yourself surrender. Breathing into your back body. Diving into the depth of your own ocean. Maybe you notice how the surface, the waves have calmed down. If you feel calm enough, you can even swim to the surface. You might be able to see your own reflection. Reflecting on the state that you were in before you started this practice. Noticing how your breath feels now in comparison to when you started. Noticing how your body feels now in comparison to when you started. Allowing yourself to be here, to be still, also to be fluid and open to whatever the shapes present to you physically, but also mentally. And then begin to slowly bring yourself back up, moving the blocks and props to the side. And then you can keep the bolster underneath your knees if you like, and begin to slowly roll onto your back as we're finding Savasana. Letting the back body, the spine unfold. Sliding the shoulder blades together underneath you. Letting the arms come a little wider, palms facing up. Letting yourself rest. Letting yourself drop. Imagining yourself being the surface of the ocean. Your body being that transition or that transmitter between the inside world and the outside world. The body being that inch of water surface that lays between the depth of the ocean and the outside world. See the surface calm, not a single wave. Feeling your head relax, your shoulders, your arms, letting your torso drop into the floor, your hips, legs and feet. Allowing yourself to be here. Savasana. I'm going to leave you here in Savasana. If you have an extra minute or two, allow yourself to rest. Allow yourself to remain still. Whenever you feel ready, you can finish the practice in a way that is meaningful to you. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here, to be present in your own body, your own breath, your own ocean. Hope to see you soon. Namaste.